What up, New York Giant Nation? It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan, coming back at y'all, episode 12 of the Real Deal NFC East Round-Up. And before we get started tonight, I had a special co-host for the night I was going to bring in. He's been one of the biggest supporters of my channel thus far, and I really appreciate the love this brother been showing me. So I got him on the co-host with me today, and I'm about to bring him in. Most of y'all already know this man by the name NYGJeff. And here he is, man. Welcome aboard, Jeff. Thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you very much for having me on the podcast tonight, Mac. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing well, and got some guys in the chat. What's up, Joel?
How you doing, Joel?
Philly B, Super Taj World. Welcome aboard, man. Glad you guys stopped through.
Thank you guys for coming by. Appreciate it so much for the support that you always bring to the community.
But yeah, we're gonna just get right into it. You know how we do on the NFC East Roundup. How I do, just gonna talk about all the NFC East action from last week, and then we'll segue into the upcoming week's action. So we'll get started with the first game on the slate, which was the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And it was a drubbing, to say the least.
Oh, man. I mean, what else can you really say about this game? The fact that Dallas must have taken something personally when they played against Denver, because they took it out on Atlanta this past week. I mean, Dak seemed to be on his game completely. Zeke and Pollard were running the ball all over that Falcons defense. CeeDee Lamb had himself a game last week. He had a couple of touchdowns. I mean, Amari Cooper played well. Michael Gallup getting his addition back into that offense really helped out their offense as a total completely, and the defense did an excellent job shutting down Matt Ryan and that Falcons offense. So you got to say Dallas did a really good job quieting the noise about their team, saying that, oh, maybe this is just another year where Dallas is going to start blowing up. They're going to start faltering at the end. It's just your typical Dallas Cowboys team. And what ended up happening? They came out and they told everybody, nope, 2021 is a new year.
Absolutely, man. Dallas came out, man. They took all their frustration out, man. 43-3. Dak 24 for 31, 246, 2 touchdowns. He definitely was back ready for action, man, this week. Like you said, they killing on the ground game once again. Zeke and Pollard collectively together. 114 on the ground, man. But the way Dak had things cooking, they didn't need much more than that, man. And also one more thing for the Dallas Cowboys was another welcome back addition to another team, a team that didn't really need the extra firepower, but they got Michael Gallup back in that lineup. And he had 3 catches for 42 yards in his first game back since week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So definitely something more to worry about with the Dallas Cowboys. They had another weapon added back to their lineup, makes them even that much harder to defend. And the defense regained a little bit of that swag back that they've been playing with earlier in the season. They had a couple of games where it looked a little suspect for the last couple of weeks, but they came back strong this week, creating the turnovers again. Diggs with yet another interception. Trayvon Diggs, 8 on the season now, making a strong campaign for Defensive Player of the Year, man. This guy is on pace to just shatter the single-season interception record. So
no doubt at all. No doubt at all.
I'm just not – you got anything else? Anything else, Jeff, on this one, man?
I mean, all I got to say is how can we not say that Micah Parsons could be the defensive rookie of the year with the way he's playing too? I mean, this guy is so incredibly versatile on defense. Whether you line him up as a pass rusher on the edge, where he can just start disrupting the offensive line and disrupting the quarterback's flow, or you can even throw him out there as a coverage linebacker. The guy is just a do-it-all player, and everything that you heard about him in college is starting to come through fruition here in the NFL level. I mean, he has 6 total tackles, 6 solo, including a tackle for a loss and a sack on this game pass. So, I mean, he's playing at a great level, and even Anthony Brown, their other cornerback, is doing pretty well. He's starting to lock down the other side of that defense. Their secondary is playing a lot better, and their pass rush is about to get a big-time boost coming in the next week. But, I mean, what else can you really say about how Dallas is playing? And I agree with what you said about Michael Gallup. I think I appreciate Cedric Wilson, everything he did for that team, but I think the addition of Michael Gallup gives that extra element of that deep speed on the outside that maybe CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper don't exactly give them. So it just gives them an added weapon and a deep threat on the outside. And it's just going to make that Dallas offense, which is already the best offense in the league numbers-wise, into that even more scary. So, I mean, it's a great get-right game for Dallas, and it just pretty much quieted all the noise coming from the outside world and from the reporters and everybody saying that this could be Dallas's time to struggle. But nope, they just came out and played a great game overall. So good kudos to Dallas for a great game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one, man. It's this Dallas team, man, just got. I mean, like I said, just got. I mean, they got better just like that, just overnight. Once again, just by getting healthy to get better, man. So, and like you said, Michael Parsons, man, this team could legitimately have the defensive rookie of the year as well as the defensive player of the year. So, just hats off to this team right now, man. I mean, it's hard to get his team props because they're the Dallas Cowboys, but facts are facts, man. Numbers never lie. And the Dallas
And they even
Cowboys
played
got
that
it
game
going
without
on
Randy
right
Gregory,
now.
too. They played the game without Randy Gregory, too. Their top pass rusher in the interior. So, I mean, imagine if he was added there to add that extra element on the defensive line. So, I mean, it's a lot to say about how this Dallas Cowboys team played. And, I mean, it also might have to factor in that maybe the Falcons were a little bit overrated by the media, saying that maybe they could be one of those up-and-coming teams, fighting for a wild card spot, that maybe they're not as good as people thought. So it could be a mixture of that. But, yeah, just impressive and great job by the Cowboys overall.
Absolutely, man. We're going to get ready to move on to the next game, man, here on the slate. As you see, I kind of move it along here. I don't not keep hold everybody up too long. Just like to move it along, give it a little analysis on every game from the division. So we're going to move on to the Washington football team, Tampa Bay, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that was the Washington final 29, Buccaneers 19, man. So what you got on this one, Jeff?
I mean, what can I honestly say? This was probably one of my biggest surprise games of the entire week last week. I mean, Taylor Heineke came out. He had himself not an amazing game, but he had himself a efficient game. 26 for 32, passed for 256 yards. He had a touchdown and no interceptions. He had 110 quarterback rating, so that's pretty solid for his first week. For that last week, Antonio Gibson had himself a nice day, 24 carries for 64 yards and 2 TDs with a 15-yard long run. Terry McLaurin, who was in and out of the lineup this entire time, he had a pretty decent game, 6 for 59. He's probably drawing a lot of the double coverage with Curtis Samuel still out battling a groin injury, as well as their really high-tooted rookie, De'Ami Brown. So, I mean, he's doing pretty well. And then you had DeAndre Carter, who was a surprise player last week. He actually contributed a lot in that game, where he had three catches for 56 yards, including a touch in the game. So, I mean, he picked up some of the slack missing from some of the guys that are out for these past few games. And, I mean, what can you say about the defense? The defense did a solid job for the adversity that they had to face, because of the fact that they already were playing this game without one of their big-time edges, in Montez Sweat, who has suffered a fractured jaw. So he's been out for a better part of the past few games. And they also just suffered Chase Young, their stud rookie or second-year player at defensive end, suffered a torn ACL. So, I mean, that's 2 big blows already to that defense, but they somehow kept it together. Cameron Curl, who's been a very underrated safety for that defense. He had 8 tackles total, 4 solo, also 1 pass deflection. And Jamin Davis, who's been slowly coming on lately. I mean, he had 6 total tackles for 6 tackles, 5 solos. So he's been playing well. Kendall Fuller had a pretty solid game. So, I mean, their defense is starting to come together already. And, I mean, Tampa Bay has been showing some leaks also on that offense. I mean, if you're able to generate any type of pass rush, or you're able to lock down the receivers on the outside, it's going to cause some problems for Tom Brady, because we all know he's a 44-year-old quarterback, and he's not exactly going to be great scrambling out of the pocket. So, I mean, if you could find a way to get any type of pass rush on him and lock down their receivers, it's going to help out your team a lot to try to maybe slow down this Tampa Bay Bucs team, who is also playing without their stud tight end, Rob Gronkowski, and also Antonio Brown, who's actually proved to be a lot more important to their offense as possible. So overall, just a very good game by the Washington football team. And, I mean, They really proved something that they really fought through adversity with missing two of their best players on defense and still were able to come out with a big hard-fought win at home.
Yeah, I totally agree with pretty much the analysis there, man. Taylor Heineke, like you said, it wasn't like some kind of amazing game, but honestly, for the last couple of weeks, he had been struggling a little bit. So he definitely came back this week strong, I feel like. Spread the ball around really good, man. McLaurin, 6 catches, 59 yards, but he really moved to spread the ball around good to all his receivers in this game. And yeah, Gibson, man, people might look at the 24 yards, 64 yards on 24 carries, but he got in the end zone twice, and he really ran hard, man. Those are 64 tough yards, the kind of yards you respect, you know what I mean? Because considering this guy's been banged up all season long, he really went out there and gave it his all against a team, against a good Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, against a good Buccaneers team. A lot of people didn't see Washington win this game, myself included. So they really surprised me with this one, man. I was really impressed with their performance, and it was good to finally see this defense look the way it was expected to look all season, man. It was the first, head-turning performance they pretty put together all year. Unfortunately, it did come at the expense of losing Chase Young. That's going to be a tough blow, and it's going to be hard to get over that, man. I don't know if they will be able to. This defense has been struggling most of the year already, and it's to lose one of your biggest and most important pieces is definitely not going to be easy to overcome. So we'll see what this defense can do going forward. But I'm not.
I think a lot of it's got to do with the interior pass rush. I think guys like Jonathan Allen, who just got paid in the offseason, as well as Deron Payne, are going to have to start picking up the slack for what they're going to be lacking essentially on the outside.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to actually just say something like that, similar to that. Like they're going to guys are going to have to just start stepping up right now because their two main edge rushers are clearly are injured. Well, Chase Young's out for the year. I'm not sure if Montez Sweat's going to be able to return. But yeah, they're going to need people to step up, and this defense has already been underperforming all season long. So I'm really curious to see who's going forward. But it was a great effort on Sunday against the defending Super Bowl champions, man.
Absolutely, I think Washington did a great job overall.
If you got anything else on this one, you can go ahead, Jeff. If not, we can move on to the next one, man.
Just really, just a great job by Washington. I mean, they've been really questioned this entire year about their defense because a lot of people said that this was going to be one of the top defenses in the NFL, and in a way, they actually played a lot better with two of their stud players out. I mean, they did a great job answering the bell, and you have to wonder if they can keep this up going into their game next week. But yeah, just a great job by their team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was a great team effort for them on Sunday, man. It was an impressive victory. Like I said, not a lot of people gave them a chance, and they went out there and they took care of business. And I also, for nothing else, I didn't even put much into consideration when I was making the picks last week on this game, but they did have a little motivation to want to go out there and get the ball. I didn't even think about it last week. I wasn't even thinking about it, but that playoff loss was a tough loss, man. They had probably all these guys didn't forget about that, and they were kind of fired up for this one, a little extra. So we'll see if that had anything to do with anything. We'll see if Washington comes back down to earth this Sunday against Carolina. We'll find out, man. We talk about that one in a little bit, though. But
yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we can get ready to move on.
Thing last week.
We can move on to the next one, man. Here, that's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles traveled out to Denver and played the Broncos, and they went out there and absolutely destroyed them, 30-13, man. I can get. I was gonna say, if you want to start on this one, or I can get started. Doesn't matter.
If you want, you could get started on this one. I'll follow up.
Where I was gonna say, Jalen Hurts, once again, man. I mean, he never really. His passing numbers never looked over the top crazy, man. But this is actually one of his better passing games as far as movement, throwing the ball, man. 16-23, 178 yards. 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception that was pretty bad, but at the same time, it didn't hurt the team. It didn't cost them. So no harm, no real foul. But here's where the Eagles, man, have been killing it lately, man. 214 yards on the ground, man. They have been running the hell out of the football the last few weeks. I would feel like they got to be probably one of the top rushing teams the last few weeks of this season, man. Jordan Howard, this guy's like reborn again, man. 83 yards on the ground. Boston Scott added 81 yards. And then Devontae Smith, man, he's just continuing to grow, man, right before our eyes, man. People were really doubting this kid in the offseason earlier in the year during the draft process. Oh, this guy ain't gonna be able to play in the league. He's too small, he's too this, he's too that. It's not gonna translate to the NFL. He's putting all those rumors to bed, man. All that nonsense. He had four more catches in this game, 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. I believe that's his first multi-touchdown game of the season. And I feel like it was probably the Eagles' best defensive performance of the year. The defense has not been great. It has definitely been the Achilles heel of this football team, and they all stepped up and responded on Sunday and just kicked the Denver Broncos in the teeth, man. Kicked the door in on them, man. Just blew the doors off. And I just feel like their coaches are also starting to make good decisions as far as like with just the fact that you understand you can't have Jalen Hurts go out there be your leading rusher week in and week out. Got to get your running backs involved in the game plan. Unfortunately, it seems like it's at the expense of Miles Sanders, who's right now still out for I'm not sure how long he'll be out for, but yeah, it's a shame. Unfortunately, they have a running back that talented, and they waited until he got hurt to decide to start turning around and handing the ball off to their running backs.
I actually heard rumors he could be back this coming week, that he might be coming back this coming Sunday. So, I mean, just imagine adding him to that backfield, and it's kind of ironic that their running game starts getting going the second Miles Sanders gets hurt. It's like something just popped into Sirianni's head, be like, you know what? Maybe we should start running the ball a little bit to open up this offense instead of just putting it all on Jalen Hurts and his arm. And like you said, yeah, what a great job by Jordan Howard. It makes you think, why was he sitting on the bench this entire time or in the practice squad? Why were they not elevating him before? And why no other team try to pick him up? Because this guy has been an effective running back for a long time, and he's always just ran the ball hard-nosed, picked up those hard-nosed yards, done his job pretty well. So you're just wondering, why was this guy not on the field earlier? And he just did – he did himself a phenomenal job. 12 carries for 83 yards, a 25-yard run, and Boston Scott, one of the people that's talked about the least about on the Eagles team, besides him usually beating the Giants all the time, because we know that for a fact. Boston Scott's like part of our kryptonite all the time.
Killer, man.
He is. He's a legit giant killer. But he even had 11 carries for 81 yards, 23 yards being his longest run. I mean, Jalen Hurts even got into the party a little bit. He even got a 55 yards total. So, I mean, they've finally been able to run the ball a lot more effectively, and it's no coincidence that it's actually going to help Jalen Hurts and the offense a lot more. And like you said, what can you say about Devontae Smith? I mean, this kid is starting to come into his own as a wide receiver. I think he's finally starting to understand the league. The kid was the best pure route runner coming out of college, and you could just see just the route running he has, the way he creates separation on the fly. And, I mean, he's starting to show his true skill set out there. I mean, four receptions, 66 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. He's been easily one of the best he's been obviously one of the best rookie receivers so far in the NFL. Might even be one of the top receivers playing in the past 4 weeks. So, I mean, Quez Watkins also giving them that element on the deep game, and Dallas Goedert when he could he's that guy that they can get over the middle or even sometimes on those deep seams. So, I mean, just a good job by the Eagles offense, and the defense did a really good job locking down on the outside, and they're even starting to get some solid linebacker play. Still question their defensive coordinator a little bit. Gannon, I mean, he's not exactly putting all his guys into the best position to win, but I mean, overall, just a very good job by the Eagles and a very surprising win, because I personally thought that the Broncos were just going to sweep the NFC East. But the Eagles, you know what? They're proving to be a much better team than we all thought originally.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this Philadelphia. Like I said, I've been always saying every week, they're a scrappy and very resilient football team, man. And they're finding ways to get it done. And that's impressive to me, because I don't feel like they have the most talented roster whatsoever, but they still manage to find a way to get to win football games. Like I was saying prior to this game, I was saying like maybe one of the keys for the Broncos would be keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket and forcing him to beat you from the pocket. But to be honest, he was making some impressive throws in this game, man. So that kid is starting to develop, and maybe he really could be the answer and be a long-term answer for them at quarterback. I wasn't sure going into this season, but he's definitely making me a believer, man. I got to say I had to eat a lot of crow on Jalen Hurts just from the comments I was making this all season. I just didn't think he could get it done with his arm. And I mean, he's not blowing anybody away with his arm, but at the same time, he's effective enough that he's not losing football games either in spite of it. So he's figuring out a way, and he's and like I said, his God-given ability, natural athleticism has definitely been helped keeping the Eagles in games. I mean, he pretty much is the Rock. He's been their Rock this season, man. Jalen Hurts has been getting it done, and I am impressed with the young man. I had to say, man, didn't think that I was going to have this feeling for feel like this about Jalen Hurts coming into this season, but like I said, the kids really made me a believer, man.
Oh, I agree 100% with you. I mean, most people were very big detractors of Jalen Hurts and his play. I thought this kid was just going to be an incredible athlete, but I didn't know if he was going to have the ability to, refine his quarterback skills, be able to throw out of the pocket, be able to throw in the pocket. But if you can work on his mechanics, he has the raw ability, sort of like a Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson, to make plays out of the pocket. And he can make guys miss. He sort of turns into a running back a little bit, but at the same time, if he can find a way and the coaches can help refine his mechanics, his throwing mechanics, I really think this guy has the ability to become a very solid quarterback in this league. Maybe not exactly a franchise quarterback, but I think he has the chance to become a pretty good quarterback that you could win with, because he's starting to limit his mistakes right now with the fumbling, even the INTs at a point. He just needs to continue to refine those mechanics in his throwing. And I think he could be a pretty good quarterback going forward. So, yeah, I was 100% wrong with you, wrong with everybody when it came to Jalen Hurts. I didn't think this guy was going to have the ability to become a solid quarterback, but he's proven everybody wrong in the league so far. So good job on him, and good job on the Eagles coaching staff.
Absolutely, man. I had to say once again, yeah, just hats off to that staff, because they're really setting this kid up and making him, like, putting him in a position to shine, as opposed to, not asking him to do things he can't do, where some coaches make that mistake with certain guys, man, and try to force like a round peg into a square hole, or a square peg into a round hole, however the saying goes. But so they're actually been making smart decisions with Jalen Hurts, and right now it's looking like it's working, man. Eagles on a roll right now, and they're definitely a lot better than a lot of people thought they were going to be, myself included, man.
Oh, yeah, we all thought the Eagles were going to be a bad team, and, I mean, they're proving us wrong so far. We got 8 games to go, but right now, I mean, they look like they're a lot smarter than we were all. I mean, we all thought this team was going to be a 4-win team at best, and they already got 4 wins already. So, I mean, who's the one that's been wrong the whole time?
You got that right. But we can get ready to jump into next week's action now, man. Start talking about these games next week. Just start, give a little, you can just give a little analysis how you feel about this game coming up. First one we'll start with will be the Saints coming up to Philly to meet the Eagles, man. That's what we were just talking about.
I mean, I hate to say this for all the Giants fans. I mean, I really do, but I think this is a game that Philadelphia should win. I don't know what the Saints are. I mean, their quarterback issues they have right now, because do we really honestly believe in Trevor Siemian? Do we think that this guy has the ability to win games on his own if, for instance, you're able to take away the running game of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram? I don't think any of us, I mean, if you're an outside football fan or even a Saints fan, you don't think this guy's going to have the ability to win the games. And I really don't have a big-time threat at wide receiver. I mean, Traquan Swift has been playing pretty well since he's come off the IR. Callaway has been playing solid. Same thing with Harris. But at the same time, they don't really have a big threat on the outside. So I just think the Eagles, honestly, it hates me to say this, I think they're the more talented team, and I think they're the better team. And I would be shocked if they don't find a way to pull this game out at home against the New Orleans Saints.
I'm kind of going to follow up on you with that, man, because I do agree, man, with you on that. It's I just feel like you say, the Eagles are just the more talented team at this point in the season right now. I think the New Orleans Saints, the injuries are just too much to overcome right now. I'm not sure what the status of Alvin Kamara is going to be this week. I mean, Mark Ingram had a solid game a week ago. I had a solid game on Sunday, but at the same time, he's still not quite that same guy he once was when he played for New Orleans the first time around, for instance. And like you said, no one jumps out at you with that receiver. I mean, Callaway had that great preseason. A lot of people jumped on his bandwagon as far as in fantasy football and things of that sort. But I felt a lot better about Callaway when James Winston was the quarterback. Right now, like you said, Trevor Siemian puts no fear in nobody's heart, man. So you just don't know what you're going to get there. Taysom Hill obviously has proven that he's not just a regular, normal, traditional quarterback. He's going to always be able to come in his little packages and make plays. But the fact that they haven't even just turned the reins over to him tells you how they truly feel about him. And defensively, this team also, they're still pretty solid defensively. So they do have a chance in this game. That's where it's going to take this. Their defense is going to have to pretty much win this game for them. And I'm just not seeing it, man. I honestly the same way. I picked the Eagles to win this game as well, man. I just don't. I feel like they're just a more talented football team in this one. They're at home. They're coming off of a big win. I think they're just going to find a way to get it done like they've been doing all season. I mean, last week was a pretty nice, overwhelming victory for them, but most of their W's have been, hard, scrappy, like hard-nosed fights, and almost all their games have been like that. So I just feel like Eagles are going to win this one. I think it's not going to be too crazy. No, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to beat them as bad as they beat Denver a week ago, but I think it's going to be like a 28-21 kind of game this week, man. I think the Eagles can take care of business at home against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I was actually probably going to go with something similar to that, maybe like a 24-21 type game. But I'm telling you, one matchup to really look forward to seeing: Devontae Smith versus Marshawn Lattimore. That should be a fun matchup. One of the best young up-and-coming receivers in the NFL going against one of the top cornerbacks. And we all know Matt Lattimore loves to get under wide receiver skins. And Devontae Smith seems to be one of the coolest cats out there. He's not one of those diva guys, so he's just gonna let his route running do the job. And I also think, just to piggyback off what you said about the defense, I think if the Saints have a chance to throw Jalen Hurts off his game, it's going to have to come from their big players like Cameron Jordan on the outside. He has to get some type of pass rush, as well as Demario Davis, who's the heart and soul of that defense. If he can somehow create some havoc in the middle, it can maybe throw a wrench into the Eagles' plans of maybe getting a good victory at home.
Yeah, I think that is definitely their best shot, man. Defense is going to have to make plays, man, because I'm just not – like I said, I'm not even sure. Like I said, not sure about the status of Alvin Kamara. And after that, offensively, they don't really have much of anybody else on the offensive side of the football that's going to scare you. So if Alvin Kamara doesn't play from an offensive standpoint, the Saints are going to be behind the 8-ball anyway. So this defense is going to have to really rise up, man. On the road, too, and a dome team going outdoors, November. It's just not a good recipe for the Saints, man. I just don't see it happening this week. Once again, the NFC's had a great week last weekend, going 3-0. Unfortunately, the Giants couldn't be part of that. We had a bye week, but hey, we also didn't lose either. So
that's right, we didn't lose to the bye.
The NFC was undefeated last weekend. First time in a long time that's probably happened. And this week I see the Eagles getting them off to a pretty good start as well, man. I just don't see the Saints winning this football game. I just do. I just think the Eagles, and I mean they're the Eagles, so you never know. They can lay an egg too. They have that kind of team. They're the kind of team that can actually go out there and do that, but I just don't see it happening. I think they're clicking on all cylinders right now, playing really good football. To be honest, it's hard to admit that because I'm right. I live right here in this area, and I deal with them Eagle fans all the time, man. But they're playing pretty good, solid football, man. So
the worst thing to do is try to praise Eagles and their fans. Be like, yeah, you guys actually have a good team. It's like one of the worst things to do is praise the Eagles. Be like, yeah, you guys actually have a good team.
But yeah, we can get ready to move it along to the next game, man. And that's what I got. I got the Washington football team traveling down to Carolina to meet the Panthers, man.
This game is very – I don't know how to – this is one of those games where I really don't know. Like, you know some of those games you don't know what to expect? This, to me, is one of them because although Washington did a very good job, having a big time victory against Tampa Bay at home. We don't really know what this Washington team is because overall for the entire season, their defense has been one of the worst in the league. They haven't really gotten a consistent pass rush at all. I mean, their secondary has been horrid for most of the season. And also, I mean, on offense, I mean, besides Gibson has been very inconsistent. Taylor Heineke, while he's had a couple of games here and there where he's played well, I mean, he's been a very hit or miss quarterback. And at the same time, at wide receiver, if it's not Terry McLaurin, who is it? There's really no other consistent guy that's been a consistent receiving threat on the outside because of the fact that Curtis Samuel's basically not played all season. De'Ami Brown has been in and out of the lineup. I mean, Logan Thomas has been out of the lineup for mostly. So at the same time, this Washington team, I really don't know what they are. That's like the biggest thing about this. I don't know what team we're going to get. Are we going to get the team that we showed last week against Tampa Bay? Or are we going to get the team that's pretty much what it's been the entire season? That's just no pass rush, poor defense, inconsistent offense. And in terms of Carolina, I mean, I just don't. I think Cam Newton might have just re-energized the entire, not only that team, but the entire fan base, the entire franchise. Just the fact that he's been able to don that blue and black back on his jersey with the number 1, I think it's just invigorated that entire organization, and it's just brought a spark to their team. He might not have the skills that he once had when everybody was calling him Superman, but at the same time, he might have just lit a spark into that team. So I think Carolina. And with Christian McCaffrey back, that gives them the added element on the running game. And I just think that Carolina, I'm actually going to go with Carolina. I think they just have the better team. They're going to be playing at home. Cam's first game back since his return to the Panthers. I just see this game being, I honestly just think Carolina is I'm going to go there. I think they're going to win in an easy one. I'm going to say 28-14 Panthers at home and Cam Newton's return to Carolina.
Yeah, once again agree with a lot of what you said there. I believe the Washington football team was definitely fueled on a lot of emotion and adrenaline. Last week against the Buccaneers, they went into that game really extra motivated, fired up. I just don't think we'll see that same Washington football team this week or going forward, to be quite honest. I think they just really went in there, and last week, like I said, with all the extra emotions built up, festering inside, remembering that bad taste from that playoff loss against Tampa Bay back in January, and they went in there fired up and they took care of business, man. But I think this week, Cam Newton, it's like he's back in the starting lineup for Carolina, and I just feel like that Carolina's just gonna come out and just punch them in the mouth, man. Christian McCaffrey, I feel like I think is poised for a huge day against this Washington defense, which I think will struggle, and it's going to be tough for them. Hey, what's going on, Sunday? How you doing out? Good to see you.
Hey, Sunday, how are you doing?
But I just feel like Carolina is going to be all over Washington in this game. I just don't. I feel like their defense is going to end up overwhelming Washington's offense. And I just because it's been Washington's offense has been what's been holding them together this year, but it's also still been up and down a lot. Antonio Gibson has been beat up all season, so he hasn't really been able to give what most people thought he would have the kind of year most people thought he was going to have. And then Heineke's been like, like a tale of two quarterbacks, man. Some weeks he's on like he was on Sunday, and then some weeks when he's off, man. Like you can't find where he's not even able to find Terry McLaurin, who to me is one of the absolute best and biggest stud receivers in the NFL. So I feel like it's.
Oh, the guy's phenomenal.
I think Washington. I think they were a mirage. I think that was what they did. I think it was a mirage. I think that's not what we're going to get. That same kind of effort, and I see them coming out here and dropping the ball just like you do, man. And I see them losing pretty big time in this game as well, man, by at least a couple of scores. And I like Carolina in this one. I'd say 27-13, man, to be honest. I just don't see Washington going down there, especially coming off this big emotional win against Tampa Bay. They're the type of team that's going to totally go out and lay an egg on Sunday. I feel
the same way.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't with a clear conscience pick Washington the way they've been playing football all season and think that they're going to put together two back-to-back games, impressive games. Man, I know this is why they play the game, but I just don't see it. Carolina, I know they're coming off a big win too as well, but I just think just the motivation Cam back in front of the home fans in Carolina, man, that crowd is going to be excited to see Cam Newton. That stadium's going to be absolutely electric. So
I
I
agree
think
with you 100%.
yeah,
And
I can't
we're waiting
imagine.
for we're waiting for Christian McCaffrey to just be like, you know what? Everybody thinks that I just get hurt all the time. Everybody thinks that I might be on the going on the downside of my career. I just spend more time on the IR than I do on the field. Oh, I think he's going to have himself a game and that Washington defense. Do we really honestly think that Washington defense is going to have back-to-back 2 games without Montez Sweat, without Chase Young, with a poor secondary, with a suspect linebacking core? Who's really going to generate pass rush on that defensive line? I just think that Carolina is going to have their way.
I agree 100%, man. I just it's strange because it's not like Carolina is some super great team, but I just can't. I think they're better than Washington. I just feel like they are a better football team than Washington, and they're definitely right now. I mean, other than they're healthier than Washington because this is a situation where Carolina's technically using a backup quarterback, but let's face it, is Cam Newton a downgrade from Sam Darnold? I don't think most people would feel that way. So
I even just I saw a meme on I don't know if you saw it. Somebody shared it on Facebook of Cam Newton acting as Thanos, and he just snaps his finger, and you see Sam Darnold start to eviscerate into like dust. That's exactly what I think about. It's like Sam Darnold. Oh, we only knew you. Like he was like the toast of the town for the first few weeks, and just like that, good old Cam's back, and he's just like nothing, just gone, just like that. It's amazing.
absolutely, I totally agree with this comment. Sunday with Cam back and Carolina being at home, I think this is going to be too much for Washington, man. I know Cam Newton didn't have amazing numbers last week, but he still got in the end zone twice. So his guy still got it, man. He has a whole week to prepare this week, so he should be ready to go out there and make some plays, man. So I'm
Oh,
excited for this one.
absolutely.
I actually want to see this. I really am excited to see this football game on Sunday. And I
Me
hope
too.
I'm sure one of the guys will be covering it. Pat, Joe, or somebody will probably be covering this one. I'm sure.
Now I'm curious to see if they're going to use him more than just like gimmick packages towards the end zone. If they're going to just make him flat out the number one quarterback, or if they're going to mix him and PJ Walker in and out. I'm assuming he's going to be the number one quarterback. We don't know yet. Is Matt Rule just going to allow him to take the full reins? I hope so, because PJ
Uh,
Walker is a nice story, but at the same time, we all want to
yeah,
see Cam. We want to see what Cam's got.
I don't believe they have any plans on rotating them in and out because I saw that. Read something a couple of days ago. I guess on Monday that they said Cam Newton was going to be getting the majority of number one reps in practice. So that sounds like they're getting him ready to be the guy on Sunday. So
Oh, no
barring any
doubt.
kind of setback or injury, I'm pretty sure we're going to pretty much just see Cam. We won't be seeing them enter any too much PJ, too much like any like what I'm trying to say, rotating with him and PJ
Yeah.
Walker.
Cam, 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 Cam. You know that's coming back
So
soon.
yeah, we can move on to the next game if you ready. Unless you had any more comments about this one.
Nah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the next one.
And the next one will be the Dallas Cowboys traveling out to Arrowhead to see the Kansas City Chiefs, man. This one is going to be a marathon, man.
Oh man, this is one of those games where I'm actually looking forward to just putting the TV on and watching these two good quarterbacks, these great receivers, these great running backs, all these great offenses on that field just run up and down that field like a track meet the entire time. And it looks like that the Chiefs are starting to get themselves back into like what the Chiefs were, because they're starting to target Travis Kelce a lot more. He had himself a nice game, his last game. Tyreek Hill, I mean, the guy is just he's a playmaker wherever you put him. You can just line him up all the field. He's just going to make plays everywhere. Macaulay Hardman is a good solid number two. Even guys like Byron Pringle, Demarcus Robinson, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire might be making his returns to the game. So that's only going to help that Chiefs offense. And I mean, in terms of Dallas, I mean, we talked about it earlier when they were playing their last game against the Falcons. I mean, this team, where are you going to stop them? I mean, everywhere you go on that Dallas offense, there's playmakers everywhere. Whether you got Gallup or Cooper or Elliott or Pollard or Lamb or Schultz, everywhere you go, there's just somebody on that offense that can cause damage. And it's like you have to try to pick and choose. Who am I going to double team? Like a double team Lamb. Well, Cooper's going to beat you. I want to double team Cooper. Well, Gallup's just going to run a streak down the middle. Or I could have Schultz just get something over the middle. You got Pollard coming out of the backfield. You got Zeke just storming right up the middle. And plus the fact that their offensive line is still one of the best offensive lines in the league. I think what it might come down to, ultimately, what defense, and I can't believe we're going to say this, what defense is actually going to step up and make some plays, whether it's turnovers, whether it's sacks, whether it's batted down passes, whether it's key tackles in the open field, limiting penalties. Which defense is going to show up and make the most plays to limit or stymie the other team's offense? That's what I'm looking forward to in this game.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback right off of this comment that Sunday made, man. Patrick Mahomes definitely resurfaced last week, the Patrick Mahomes we've grown used to. And if he stays back at that level, it's going to be a long day for the Dallas Cowboy defense, which I've always been on the record all season as saying. There's not that to me, I don't look at this as a great defense. I look at it as an opportunistic one. They take advantage. They make the plays that are there for them to make. They create turnovers. But overall, you can still move the ball up and down the field pretty well against this defense. And I don't see Kansas City having any problem doing. I don't see Kansas City having any problem doing that. Their problem is going to be obviously Kansas City's defense is absolutely atrocious. So that's going to be the problem, is them trying to actually stop Dallas's offense. That's why I said this game should be an absolute marathon on Sunday. I believe it's in a late window on Sunday, man.
Not atrocious enough for Jason Garrett, though, just to throw that in there. Just saying.
Definitely want to get my popcorn ready, man, for this one, man. It's going to be.
It's popping right now.
I can't imagine this not being the highest scoring game of the week. This is going to be a fun one. You're talking about two absolute premium offenses, man, right now, and like I said, two not so great defenses. I mean, Dallas's defense appears to be better than what they actually are because of the turnovers they create. But like I said, you can move the football against this Dallas Cowboy defense, man. So
absolutely,
I feel like people going to think I might be crazy for this one, but I feel like this game is going to play. Both teams are going to play into the 40s in this one. I feel like I can't.
Oh, you're not crazy at all. You're not crazy at all when you say are we really trusting either one of these defenses and watch it be like a 17-17 game or something? That's just the NFL. But do we truly trust these NFL defenses to step up and, slow either one of these teams down with what they've shown so far this year? And you said it brilliantly with saying that Dallas is opportunistic. That's exactly what they are. They will make those big turnovers, but most of the time, you could throw on that team. You could run on that team. They're not that good of a defense at all.
Absolutely. That's why I think this game is going to come down to pretty much almost like whoever has it last. And I think it's this week. I'm thinking and I'm hoping that it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I'm thinking they're going to win this one. I'm going to say 45-43, man. I know it's a crazy score, man, but I just feel like both of these teams are going to absolutely play into the 40s this week, man. Neither defense impresses me enough, and I think both of the offenses are absolutely they're just scary offenses, man. And it's going to be a lot of points, and it's going to be just a lot of yards. It's going to be a fun one to watch, man.
I'm gonna go higher than you. I think somebody's gonna get a 50 this week. I think that one of these teams is gonna get a 50 spot because I do not trust either one of these defenses to stop a lick. I think the punters are gonna have themselves an off day if they even get a punt or two. I think it's just gonna be a straight up track meet up and down the field. Both teams just scoring at will, and I think it's gonna end up being. I'm gonna go 52-45. You heard it first. I think it's going to be one of those games.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's going to definitely. This reminds me of the matchup few years ago, Kansas City, I think it was Patrick Mahomes' second year, his big MVP year, I believe it was. And they played against the Rams on like Monday Night Football, and that game was an absolute just marathon game, man. Both teams were just
Oh
it was like
yeah, it's
50
like the
something to
punters weren't
like
even
40
involved.
something, I believe. Yeah.
It was
As if punters didn't even
crazy.
exist in that game.
And I would love to see one of those games again. I know we'd like to see the defense play well sometimes, but come on, who doesn't love a good shootout sometimes? And watching all
Oh,
these guys just
absolutely,
making this
man.
great plays on the running game and the passing game. I mean, everybody loves to see a good shootout sometime, and I mean this is the perfect matchup where you're going to get it.
I think this is maybe one of the best opportunities on the whole schedule all season for that to happen right now. This game here, I just don't see the defenses standing out in this one at all. This is going to be a definite offensive showcase, both sides for both teams, man. So I'm hoping Kansas City can get it done, man.
Me too.
I really do. I just hope they can find a way to pull it off and knock the Cowboys off and bring them back down to reality, bring them back down to us a little bit closer to us. Not close enough, obviously, but still, every
Come
little
on,
bit helps,
Casey.
man.
Throw us a bone here. Play against them like they did against Denver. Come on, you could do it for us. You guys owe us too because of what happened in that game that we played you guys. So come on, throw us a bone a little bit and knock off those Dallas Cowboys for us.
Yeah, so unless you got anything left on this one, man, we can get ready to move to the main event, man.
Mac,
I know you've been
let's
waiting. I
get
know
to the
this
main event.
is the one you've been waiting for, man.
No, I'm waiting for the main event. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. We got
We
the
definitely
NY
know.
Dome. We've been craving it for a week. It's time to get to the main event.
Yeah, so we got them New York Giants, man, traveling down to Tampa Bay to visit those Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, man. Visit Tom Brady. I feel like we play Tom Brady every single year. It seems like no matter what
Right?
uniform he has on,
Yeah.
it feels like that. But
Oh, you
let's
play
get
Tom
ready.
Brady. You're on the schedule. You're playing the Giants. Okay. Every year, you just want to play. You're going to play the Giants every year. All right, that's fine. And where's Kryptonite too? You want to
Let's
kick it
go
off, or do
off,
you
Rick.
want me to kick it off?
You can go ahead and start off if you want, man.
Oh man. Well, what can we say about the New York Giants so far this season? I mean, the defense. We were all complaining about the defense for most of this year. At the beginning of the season, they can't stop anybody. They can't tackle. They can't. They're dropping interceptions left and right. They're doing all this all the time. And then finally, I don't know what happened, but I think it was with the secondary coach. He must have said something to this defense because I don't know what happened to them, but ever since that game against the Panthers, oh my God, they've come out like a totally different defense. They're tackling well, they're picking off plays, they're locking down guys on the outside. Everybody's playing well. Xavier McKinney is starting to look like the player that we thought we drafted in 2020. I mean, Quincy Roche has been a great addition to this defensive line. He's really helped out in the pass rush. Azeez Ojulari, enough said, the kid's been a stud since he's played. He's doing a great job pass rush. Leonard Williams, I mean, we all were dogging on this guy at the beginning of the season because of the fact, oh, he's not getting the stats, he's not doing this, he's not living up to the contract. Well, I mean, now we look at the film and the guy's getting doubled and triple teamed the entire time. Well, at the beginning of the season, he had Lorenzo Carter and O'Shea Zimenez, the guys that always get nowhere near the quarterback, and they can't even get tackles. They can't even get pressures. No wonder the guy is not getting anything. He's getting tripled and double teamed every second. I mean, Blake Martinez going down was a big blow to this defense. We all love Jabril Peppers. Him going down, even though he hasn't played this well. Logan Ryan has missed some tackles in the open field. But I mean, the defense has really stepped up and done their job. In terms of the offense, I mean, all we got to do is just sit here and shake our head and be like, where the hell have they gone wrong? Combined with Jason Garrett running his curl routes and his slants and these little stick routes. Daniel Jones having trouble at times reading the pocket and not making the big throws when you see them. Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay even, Evan Ingram, these guys dropping balls in the open field. Guys coming in and out of the lineup. The offensive line, I mean, you just want to put your hands to the head. It's just Guys running past, defensive linemen running past us every single second. The offensive line, but you better as well put New York's turnstiles out there. They might be doing a better job than blocking than what we got, especially good old Nate Solder. You having fun enjoying your picnic, Nate? Sitting there on the ground more than you are blocking the defensive line? I mean, this offense is giving us headaches every single second. We don't really we can't pinpoint what the problem is. But going into this Tampa game, I'll just make it as short and sweet as I can. I think the way we have a chance to compete this game, everything we hear, Saquon Barkley sounds like he's coming back. I want to see this guy lined up on the outside, get him the ball on the outside, maybe some screen game, maybe some check downs, use his skill set the best you can, blockers in front, and if he's going to run the ball, I want to see him run up and down. I want to see him go north and south. I don't want to see any more dancing with Saquon Barkley, because all he's just going to do is his offensive line's not going to be able to block. He's just going to run into an offensive lineman and go nowhere. I mean, Booker has been a little limited this week, but I think he's going to give it a go with a hip issue. So I think he's still going to give us that solid downfield route running. He's going to be a good balance with Saquon Barkley. And, I mean, can we please get the ball to Kadarius Toney? I mean, did you see that stat that I think he's like 109 rating when you're targeting him with the ball? He's, I think, the second or first highest rating among rookie wide receivers in targets when you're targeting the ball. That he's just going to be play. Get him the ball. Get him the ball in space. Either you can put him in the backfield, put blockers in front. I've been preaching this for weeks. Put blockers in front of him. Get him the ball. Let this guy use his playmaking abilities in the open field. Get him the ball everywhere you can. And Kenny Golladay, can we please throw the ball downfield to him? This guy was leading the league for 2 years. And you even know that, leading the league for 2 years in contested catches down the field. And we have not thrown the ball once to him downfield. Well, we did it to Golden Tate for 2 years, but we don't do it to Kenny Golladay. Are we missing something? The fans can recognize this, but we can't. Get the ball to him downfield, and I actually trust him that he will go up and pluck the ball up in the field. He's going to do it. He's 6'4", 200-something pounds, 220 pounds. And Evan Ingram, we're finally starting to use this guy to the best of his ability. He's a guy that is not going to be known for curl routes, sitting over the middle, doing a stick route the entire time. You got to have this guy go up in the seam, have him maybe take a Z route like he did in that first touchdown he had a couple of weeks ago against the Raiders. That's what we want to see with Evan Ingram. So can we please see something from this offense? And with the defense, just try to make sure that their running game does nothing. We got to make sure that their running game is limited. Limit Fournette, limit Giovanni Bernard, Ronald Jones, and try to get a consistent pass rush on Brady, because if you can do that, all you're going to do is just make him frustrating. We've seen it. We played against Tom Brady how many times? This guy does not like it when there's pressure in his face. He's just going to fall down. 44-year-old quarterback, that's what you expect. And also, my final point is just I'm going to be looking at this injury report too, see if Gronkowski is going to play, and we'd even factor into it. Antonio Brown is a big factor for that Bucs offense. If he's not able to play, their offense is just proven they're not the same without him. So, you know what?
I agree.
Mac, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I don't know why, but as a fan, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to be rooting my ass off for this team. Giants 24, Bucs 20. I'm going there. I'm just going to go there. I'm going with my heart than my head, man. I'm going with my heart on this one.
You went there.
I did.
Well, like, you made a lot of very good points there, man, and I'm just going to keep adding to some of the same points you made. Like, this defense has to come out, man, and give us the same energy they've been giving us the last few games. Because, like I said, I was saying, even in the Kansas City game, the defense played absolutely amazing. Not the reason why we lost, came up short in that game. So, if they keep coming out with that same energy, man, this could be maybe you might have a chance to pull this one off, but the Chiefs, the Chiefs. I lost my train of thought. The Giants defense, man. Like you said, it's just been hitting like so. It's been so special the last few weeks. Like, it's been everything I wanted it to be all season long, and it took this long for it to happen. You know what I mean? For everything, all the stars to align, so to speak. The pass rush is absolutely a must because, like you just said, we created the blueprint for stopping Tom Brady back in 2007 in the Super Bowl. We created that blueprint, man. You know what I mean? Everybody knows a good pass rush will always give Tom Brady fits, man. He does not like to go down. He does not like to get hit. So if you keep that pressure in his face, it will be a long day for Tom Brady. So if we can generate any form of a pass rush consistently throughout this game, it's going to go a long way in helping us out, helping our back end out, as well as just stopping Tom Brady, man, and giving him and frustrating Tom Brady because our secondary is going to have a tough test. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, he's a little banged up, and I'm not 100% sure if he's going to go in this game or not. But he's a little banged up. But either way, if he's on the field, he's Chris Godwin, one of the best receivers in the league. Antonio Brown maybe back for this one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure like you said, I'm not sure what the status on Gronk is, or if he's going to be able to give it a go. But they're offensively, this team has definitely got some serious weapons that we got to worry about, man. And vice versa with the Giants, man. Our offense honestly should be getting a lot of help back this week as well, man. Looks like we may actually possibly take the field on Monday night with our full complement of offensive weapons, because even Sterling Shepard's been getting some work in practice again too already. So knock on wood, man, we might actually go into this game with Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram, Saquon Barkley, and obviously the big key out of all that I haven't even mentioned yet is getting our big left tackle back, number 78, Andrew Thomas.
Right on, man. Right on.
Best offensive lineman all season long. Daniel Jones is a different quarterback with that man out on the field. He has all the confidence in the world in Andrew Thomas. And when he's out there, he's not looking over his shoulder, worrying about getting blindsided when Andrew Thomas is out there playing left tackle. So it'll be a huge confidence booster for Daniel Jones to get Andrew Thomas back in this lineup. I feel like Andrew Thomas and Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones is a better quarterback with both of those guys in the lineup, man.
Oh,
and like you said about Saquon Barkley, man, it's just got to be north and south, man, and just go. Take what's there, man. And if it's not there, it's just not there. Like you said, the dancing around, the east-west dancing around, that's not our offensive line is not good enough for that to be effective. You know what I mean? Our offensive line does not block well enough. As far as I'm concerned, when we get to this all season, we got 4 spots in the O-line to take care of and replace, man. But right now, we're not going to be able to do all of that. I'm going to be excited for this one because
me too.
Like I said, we're going to be about as healthy as we could be, man. Finally, for a chance. I mean, and when I was mentioning all the weapons, those were just the main guys. I mean, you still got also the John Rosses of the world out there too, man. That's going.
Can I get a John Ross?
That can be, possibly take top off of defenses and make a play. And this Tampa Bay secondary can 100% be had, man. They can be. You can take those.
Yes.
If we can block Tampa Bay up front, its offensive line can protect Daniel Jones. We can go downfield and make some major plays against this Tampa Bay secondary, and we need to exploit that. Like you said, we got to get the ball downfield to Kenny Golladay, and we got to get the ball in Kadarius Toney's hands in situations where he can make plays, man, where he can be a factor. Like I said, Saquon Barkley, get him out in the space on some nice screens and give him some room to operate and work. And let that man work, man. I know a lot of you ready at this point have already given up on Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry. I just can't be that guy, man.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I just can't be that guy.
Yeah, why are you giving up on Barkley?
Hindsight's 2020 that people try to say about him like shouldn't have used number 2 overall pick on him and this, that, and the other. Here's how this broke down. Saquon Barkley was head and shoulders the best player in that NFL in that draft class in 2018. And so I'm sorry. We took a swing. hasn't worked out perfectly, hasn't been all roses, but at the same time, has the team around him been all that great either? No, it hasn't been. Has he run behind the good offensive line? No, he hasn't. So
let's be honest. Do you
it's a
think if
lot
he
of
ran
other
behind?
factors.
Let's be honest, Mac. Do you think if he was running behind that Tampa Bay Bucks offensive line right now, who's one of the best in the league, do you think Saquon Barkley would start racking up the yardage that we all know he can do? We all know it's a
100%.
fact.
You saw what he did his rookie season. I mean, and that was just with the help of having a legit stud #1 receiver on outside Odell Beckham helping open things up for him. Rookie season,
and that was with Eric
absolutely
Flowers and Patrick
absolutely
Omameh
horrible.
on the right side. That offensive line was horrendous, and he still put up
John
the numbers.
Jalapeno in center, yeah.
Oh my
like
God!
That.
And Nate Solder was our left tackle.
John Jerry
that line was
guard.
Horrendous. Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. Why are people getting on his case? It's Saquon.
He's had some bad luck with the injuries, but let's face it. When Saquon Barkley is healthy, he's healthy. He is a generational type of talent when he's healthy. Yeah. I mean, it's just the facts. That's just the facts. So people can say what they want. I can say understand not wanting to go out on a deep end, not wanting to give him some crazy extreme contract that he may not have lived up to due to the injuries. You know what I mean? But at the same time, to just be talking about outright trading them and getting rid of them and this, that, and the other, and acting like you could just easily replace a player of the caliber of Saquon Barkley is not easily replaced. No matter what, man. No matter what, you can get him. Sure, we can get another running back in here that would be effective. Sure.
But exactly.
Saquon Barkley can do things that are just, when he's healthy, can do extraordinary things. You know what I mean? So you can't just replace that. And you can't just, after a couple of years of him being a little banged up, act like, oh, I know I wouldn't have used that pick. Well, then I always challenge people with this question. If you didn't pick Saquon Barkley in that situation, I mean, I know Quentin Nelson was there available. I get that. He was. I get that. But other than Quentin Nelson, who else was you going to take? Who else were you going to take? Sam Darnold? How's his career?
God, was I wrong about him? Oh, my God. Was I wrong about Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We saw how he looked. In the league still.
Yeah, me too.
Still in the league.
We saw how he looked when he was playing with Atlanta for a little bit. He was horrid.
I mean, sure, Josh Allen is playing lights out football, man, for the Buffalo Bills. But at that time of that draft class, some people didn't even know if he was going to even be as good as Josh Rosen, let alone as good as he is. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.
So let's not act like Saquon Barkley. I'll say Quentin Nelson was the only other obvious pick we could have went there that obviously could have made this team a little bit better. But even say hypothetically, 2018 we drafted Quentin Nelson. Okay, we got an all-pro guard. You think that's going to make us win football games?
No.
I don't necessarily see it that way. I just
still got 4 other spots on that offensive line that needed help.
Exactly.
Had one spot.
I just don't see it. Maybe if we had him, we'd be better off right now, in a sense, because I feel like we're trending in the right direction. But I don't know. I just don't see how people keep jumping on this Saquon Barkley thing and saying how bad of a pick it was. It wasn't a bad pick. It's never a bad pick when you take the best player in the draft.
Injury prone. That's never. They're gonna say injury prone, injury prone, injury prone, injury prone. So I guess injury prone is when a guy actually steps on another guy's ankle and he sprains his ankle, which I don't know if that's injury prone. I mean, when do we classify injury prone? When you're hurting your calf consistently or you're hurting your hamstring consistently. That's what we classify as injury prone. He had a freak accident his second year where he sprained his ankle on the sidelines. He tore his ACL. I mean, okay, that was a freak injury that happened too. And then this year, was that really injury prone? The guy stepped on another guy's ankle and he sprained his ankle.
Accident. It's a freak accident. Could have happened to anybody.
I know.
Could have happened to anybody.
I mean, come on. But, I don't understand it sometimes.
But that's what I mean. That's the narrative. When people after his rookie season, when he was rookie of the year and had that amazing year, almost 2,000 all-purpose yards, or did he have over 2,000? I can't even remember. He might have had over 2,000 all-purpose yards. Nobody complained about Saquon Barkley after that. But as soon as a man gets injured, got a couple injuries, a couple rough years with the injuries, now all of a sudden, why are we using number 2 overall pick on a running back? Because he was the best player in the draft, and we took a swing, and we took the best player that was in that draft class. And I still believe even though his career hasn't panned out to that so far yet, with some of like the great play of like a Josh Allen and pretty much just Josh Allen.
Yeah. Maybe Lamar Jackson, but he was way later in the draft.
Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, I actually forgot that he was even part of that class because he got drafted so late in the first round.
Yeah,
behind all of the quarterbacks, and he's outperforming. He's better than all of them.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, because most fans are just so quick to just replace guys immediately. I mean, there's even some fans that would rather see Devontae Booker than Saquon Barkley. Are you nuts? I mean, Booker had a great game or two, but come on. Are we really going to say that Devontae Booker is going to give us more on that field than Saquon Barkley? Let's come back to reality a little bit. Saquon Barkley is a difference maker. The second he steps on that field, teams have to still make sure that they have to I'm trying to think of the word, like scheme their defense against that guy. When 26 is on that field, be like, you know what? We got to scheme to find a way to stop him. I mean, he's still that type of playmaker. I don't care where he is on that field. You're going to still have to worry about him. So I don't understand it. People are just so quick to replace players because they have a couple of bad luck injuries. Yeah,
totally. It's nuts to me. But I'm gonna go the other way with you on this one, Jeff. In this game, man. Unfortunately, man, my heart obviously wants a New York Giant victory, but Tampa Bay coming off a horrible loss Sunday. They're going to be at home, fired up, prime time. New York Giants notoriously don't play well in the prime time.
Great
Daniel
job.
Jones especially has struggled in prime time throughout his career so far.
0-7 in prime time games.
And I just feel like the Buccaneers are going to find a way to beat us. And I got it about, I'd say 27-23, man. In this one, it's going to be another heartbreaker for us, I feel like. But hopefully, like I always like to say, prove me wrong, New York Giants, man. Hope they do, man. I really hope they do.
I hope so as well. I hope we can be proven wrong. Just speaking from the heart on this one. I don't know why, but I just feel like this is the KC game all over again, where this team is ripe for the picking. They look like they're showing some holes on their team, and we're coming off the bye, getting healthier, that this could be a chance for us to pick them off when they're still when they're reeling. It feels like the KC game all over again. It's just hopefully this time we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, and when the opportunity is there, we make the plays necessary to pull out the win. That's why I just feel confident that we could get it done. And we always play well against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Sunday making a good point in the chat, man. Fans turned on Eli, and then some fans screaming, bring Eli back. Some fans wanted Evan Ingram gone. Now some fans want Evan Ingram on the team. I mean, fans will be fans. I mean, we all have our opinions.
Fanatics. They're fanatics.
I get annoyed with the ignorant ones. That's all, man. That's what I got to speak on. The ones that people make, the ignorant opinions some people have sometimes, man. But
I hear you, man.
Jeff, man, it's been a pleasure, man, having you on here with me, man. I really appreciate you coming through, man. Helping me out on this stream tonight, man. You've been a big supporter of my channel, and I really, really appreciate you, man, a whole lot, man. Like I said, once you're ready to get your channel off the ground, man, anything I can do to help, man, just let me know for sure, man.
I appreciate it so much, Mac. Thank you so much for allowing me onto the stream. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you sub up to Mac the Giants fan, one of the best Giants and NFC East content creators you will find around here. He knows his stuff, and he's just a humble, great guy. So please, if you haven't, sub up to Mac the Giants fan immediately, and make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for allowing me on the stream, Mac.
Thank you, Jeff, man. I'll definitely talk to you again, man, sometime soon. We can definitely do this again sometime, man.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take us out of here and drop my outro. For listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MACDA Giants fan.